So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all shirts all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a dick theater. I've imagined your mouth.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I do it.
We're not sluts.
We just love love. Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Atom.
Hello, and this is Mr. Atom.
You're listening to us here on By the By.
Yep. Oh, sorry. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, oh, good for you.
Seemed like a polite thing to do.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, so
Yeah.
would you like to start with what we've been up to?
Sure, yeah. Well, so just as a heads up, although this is being released weeks later, we're actually recording this during Bisexuality Awareness Week.
Yes.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
Yeah, you know,
So.
some people get months, bisexual people get weeks. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just
Yeah.
play by them. But yeah, yay bisexuals.
Yay.
Yay. So what have we been up to? What have we done? Well, we're already trying to grasp at straws.
We've had a couple of dates
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
A couple of very good dates.
Yes.
Um,
Do we want to? What do we want to start? Do we want to start with the nice new lady?
sure.
Yeah. So we have a nice new lady.
Mm-hmm.
We've had our typical get to know you, have a drink at the bar, and then she's come over and I cooked dinner for her one night.
Yes. We had a little bit of play afterwards.
We had a lot of play afters. And then she came over again last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, hey, repeat customer. That's
Yay.
good, right?
And she's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
She's very nice to talk to.
Intelligent.
Yeah.
Jinx.
And she's cute. Yeah. She's fun to play with.
Yeah, so
And she's easy to talk to, I would say, as well. Even about, like, sexual things. And, like, you know, when you're talking about what do you want to do or, you know, what do you
like?
enjoy
Yeah.
and that type of thing. Yeah.
And that's important.
She's easy to talk to about that.
As we've always said, communication. I almost said conversation, but that's important as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice lady.
Yes,
and
we quite like her.
She's very comfortable with me being bi, and you know, I like the ladies, but you know, I mean, I like the ladies, but
But you also like the boys.
I do like the boys, and she's okay with that, and so
Yeah.
she's I think fascinated by me.
Yeah.
Because I'm something to play with, not some. I mean, realistically, I think most male-female relationships, oftentimes the male tends to play with the female, and the woman
I see
doesn't.
what you're saying,
The
yeah.
female doesn't. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not explaining this well, and I don't mean this in a sexist way. But again, it's that penetrative sex. One party is penetrating the other party,
Yeah.
and that can be a bit.
And I was going to say, and I don't know if this is going to come out exactly right, but the way in which, you know, we were playing with you last night was almost more of like a puppy dog kind of play.
Yeah, you guys were
And-
very much objectifying me.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I can see how people hate it if it's done to them always, but
Right.
like last night was kind of
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was funny because Mr. Atom, he started out, you know, thinking that, you know, it's going to be two girls and him, so he'll kind of take backstage and let us play, and it sort of seemed like it was starting out that way, but then she had brought a toy that looked quite interesting that we were like, this could be fun for Mr. Atom, so we ended up pulling that out and playing with it, and that's kind of where that all came in, and then we just played with you until you were done, and then we went about our business for a while.
Yeah, it was great.
It was
all
great.
all those
Yeah.
animated GIFs that we see from the pegging sites on Twitter. Basically, we fulfilled one of those where, you know, you have me pinned down on the bed and you two were taking turns
Yeah.
with the strap on. It was amazing. Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, she's fun. I like her.
Yeah, she's a keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's nice to have one woman, but to actually have two women who aren't intimidated by, you know, anal play with a man,
Right.
is really nice. It's surprising, but yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people do shy away from it.
Yeah, because it's gross.
Right. It's not.
It's not gross.
Fascinating.
If you're clean, it's not gross.
Yeah.
I try to be clean. Yeah, so that was great. What else do we have going on?
I'm trying to think of what we've had since we came back from holiday.
Yeah,
It seems like it's been forever, but it really hasn't.
Yeah.
You were out of town last week for work.
Oh,
so
that's
that
right.
makes a
That's what
difference.
happened because
Yeah.
I was in Brisbane and
Yeah.
nothing excited. I was staying with the lady.
Yes.
So
She was a very generous hostess.
yes, and I got to meet one of her new playthings. He'll love being called that. I know he listens, so
Yeah,
he'll love
and I
being
went
called
up
that.
for a couple of nights, so I got to meet him.
Yeah.
We all went out to dinner, and that was fun.
Yeah.
He was very nice.
Yeah, I like it.
So, yeah.
Nice, intelligent,
Yeah.
good looking,
Yeah. Playful, good banter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Not as funny as me, but you know, he gives it a fair go.
Nobody's as funny as you, dear.
I know, right? Yeah, no, that was fun. And then yeah, planning a big trip with her to New Zealand.
Ooh.
Me and the lady are gonna take New Zealand.
Watch out, New Zealand.
Watch out, sheep. We're coming for you.
They're going to clear out all the fields before you guys get there.
Oh god, that joke was bad.
Oh, no. You need to put that one to pasture.
I thought it was outstanding in its field. God,
I think we're losing people.
we are. I can see them all. You know, like that's it. We're switching over to something else now. Yeah. So that was last week was kind of a down week.
Yeah.
You know, my new guy,
Yeah.
Jack. I really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's still around. That's a plus. We get to see him Friday night.
Yep.
That'll be good.
Yep.
So
You
yeah.
guys are really sweet together.
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like a boy version of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's good because I like you.
Well, and a boy version is just, almost as good. Not
Almost,
quite, but
yeah, almost as good.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah.
fulfills a different need.
Yes. Yeah. So that is that pretty much everything that's been going on?
so.
We've had a couple of new dates, or we've had a date with another new couple.
That's true.
We'll see how that
Yes.
goes. That we had the intro date with them, and I think that went very well. They're
We've had
intelligent.
a lot of good banter and
Yeah.
talk back and forth with them.
They're both communicative and
Yeah.
like to talk. We've got another new potential fella coming up, maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Again for an intro meeting, and
it's true. I'm always skeptical though. But,
I am too. I don't
whatever.
expect. Yeah,
We'll see.
I know,
We'll
right?
see what happens.
And then this weekend is going to be pretty full, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very busy weekend.
Yeah.
We've got the date with Jack on Friday night.
Yeah.
And
Potential new couple on Saturday, and then two
potentials
different
for Sunday.
couples for Sunday.
Yeah. And honestly, if any one of those three pans out, that's fine. I'd be
Yeah,
kinda
exactly.
surprised.
And that's sort
Yeah.
of how I am. I'm like, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
But
it could be a very busy weekend if everything does pan
the
out.
the Beach Boys song "Get Around" just popped into my head. Round, round, get around, we get around. I can't sing anymore because then we'll have to pay rights
Yes.
because my singing's that good.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to agree with me. Thanks a lot. Oh, because if you disagree with me, it's because you are wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Adam.
You're welcome. Anyway, that's a special nod to somebody. You know who you are.
Mm-hmm. We
All
love
right.
you.
Turtle Man. I'm gonna get an angry text after this one comes out. I'm so excited. What are we talking about tonight? Other than me just rambling on, thinking about how funny I am.
We are going to go back to, I guess it was
Diddly-doo.
August now.
Holy shit, that's ages ago.
It was only about, well, I guess it was 3.5 weeks ago now, but we went to Hellfire.
Oh yeah, we finally went to Hellfire.
Yes. We've been trying to get there for a year now, but it only happens once a month, the fourth Friday of every month here in Sydney. And
What happens if the month doesn't have 4 Fridays? Is that possible?
I don't think that, no, I think they all
What
have
if the first day of what if the first day of February was a Saturday?
You would still have, You'd still have a Friday.
Would you? Well, you'd have Fridays, but would you have 4 Fridays?
I think you would.
Oh.
Don't make me pull out a calendar. That's confusing. It's the 4th Friday of the month. That's all I know.
Sorry. Yes.
And so, yeah, we've been trying to get there for a year now. But, I mean, since it's only one Friday a month, Fridays book up and things happen. So we just admittedly haven't...
We've not made it a priority
We
either.
haven't made it a priorty.
But we
finally,
really wanted to go.
Right. And so finally in June, we said, we're going to do this in August. And we put it on the calendar. And then come to find out that August... They had a theme for that particular Hellfire, and it was costumes, cosplay, and comics. And so that was exciting.
That was, we learned the theme. We were like, badass.
Yeah. So then it was, it became starred and exclamation points on the calendar rather than just on the calendar.
Yes. Then we found out who was one of the people performing.
Headliners, I would say.
One of the headliners, was Lucy B.
Yes.
And then it was like, drop everything, we're going to be there. Then, should I go ahead and spoil what she was doing? Then we found out that she was showcasing her new Harley Quinn cosplay while stripping as Harley Quinn. And I was basically camped out the week before.
Yep. Yep. I would say there was some sploosh going on, but I think I could have drowned in the apartment.
Yes, you both, from both of us. Yes.
That's true. Yeah, that was really exciting when we found out that she was going to be doing that. And also there was Betty Bandit was there as Wonder Woman also. So they were both doing the cosplay strip thing on stage. So yeah, that was really exciting. So we finally made it there that Friday night.
I'm trying to remember where it is. Is it Midnight Shift?
Yes.
That's the club that it's at
Right.
On Oxford in Sydney. Starts, I think everything starts at I think 9:30. We ended up around
10:30.
10:30, yeah. Which is showing my age here. Really late to get things started.
I was going to say it was still kind of early because there weren't very many people there.
Yep, I'm the old fogey in this relationship, boys and girls. Back in my day, get off my lawn. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so we got there
At about 10:30.
At about 10:30, and there was a fair line lined up outside.
Yep. So normally,
should we talk about what we wore?
Yeah, I was just gonna get to that.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm
So
jumping
normally, Hellfire it's a fetish wear type thing. So you have to wear something in the fetish category, and that can mean almost anything. I mean, it can be as mundane or as exotic as you want it to be, but you have to make it look like you made an effort in some kind of fetish wear of some sort. And we did see one couple that was turned away because they weren't wearing any...
He was in jeans and a hoodie.
Yeah, they were normal street clothes.
Yeah, and she was in regular street clothes. And I was amazed that they turned him away.
Yeah, they did. And then there was the guy in front of us that had on jeans and a hoodie, and I was like, ooh, they're going to turn him away. And they started to say something to him. Then he unzipped his hoodie, and you could see a harness underneath.
Yeah, he was wearing bare-chested with a nice harness.
Right, and so they were like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So again, you just have to make an effort. And you don't have to rock up there, half naked or anything.
No.
But, yeah.
So,
but you do have to have some kind of fetish wear on.
So we kicked around the idea of like, all right, what are we going to do? The theme was the cosplay stuff. Do we want to go for that, or do we want to just go plain kind of fetish wear? Mm-hmm. And I think maybe the day before.
Yep.
Or was it that day? Was it Friday? It was Friday.
Was it Friday?
It was that day.
Okay.
We went to Max Black in Sydney.
Yay, our favorite store.
Yep. Love Max Black.
Yeah.
So we went to Max Black and we got some... It was a shirt for me because we'd already gotten the trunks.
Right.
And so we got a black latex zip-up shirt, which I love.
I know. It looks
I
really
wish I could
hot
wear
on
that
you.
to work. I think they would frown upon that.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it looks really hot on you.
Thank you.
Maybe you just need a different customer base.
Know your audience.
Just work for a different company, that's all. Yeah.
Is Max Black hiring? Anyway.
So yeah, because you were wearing your latex then, I decided to wear my latex dress.
Yeah, so we were both of us were a mix of latex and zippers.
Yes.
Badass.
Yeah.
I'm sure most people saw pictures. Anybody who listens to us, I'm hoping, is following us on Twitter. If you are, you saw pictures of us on the Twitter page.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it was good. I think we looked pretty badass, and I was surprisingly comfortable in that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's pretty awkward to get into a taxi cab because we were picked up by an Uber
mm-hmm.
from out front and ride in, you in latex, me in latex, and
because did you end up wearing jeans over the shorts to get there? I can't remember. I know we talked about it, or did you just wear the shorts?
We talked about it, and I think I just wore the shorts.
Okay.
Because it was a warmer evening.
Was pretty
it was
warm.
Surprisingly warm.
Yeah.
And the reason I was going to wear jeans is because I thought it's going to be cold. But then I was afraid that the jeans would damage the latex. With the cost of latex, especially in Australia, the last thing I wanted to do was damage the latex, especially the first fucking time I wear it out.
Yeah.
So I think I just went,
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't remember you having
up.
jeans on, but I know we talked about it.
And yeah, so we jumped in the taxi, and about the time that we get a few blocks away from the apartment is when I realized that I forgot to powder myself. Thanks.
Sorry.
You're so compassionate. That shit sticks to you.
Yeah.
Yep. And then your balls start to sweat, which I know my listeners want to hear that.
You're going to a club.
I know,
it's gonna
but
be hot. You're gonna be sweaty.
It's tight around your thighs. It's really tight around my thighs, and it's really tight around my waist and ass. But of course, there's that little space there that, it was. I was building myself a swimming pool. My new nickname might be Swampy.
Oh, I'm so glad you took a shower when we got home.
Oh my God. If I hadn't taken a shower, I'd have been ripe as hell. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Then my new nickname would have been the Mushroom King. That brings new meaning to Mushroom Stamp.
I was just thinking that.
Oh my God. Okay. Losing control here.
Right.
So we jump in the cab, and
Yep.
I would love to know what these cab guys think. I mean, they knew. We told them exactly where we were
Well, I was
going.
going to say, once they find out where you're going, I
know,
don't think they're
but
surprised.
Still, yeah, it just seems like
Yeah.
because if somebody got knowing what I know, if somebody got into my cab dressed all in latex, the first thing I would say to him is, "Hey, buddy, did you powder?" Because you're going to want to powder. So, yeah, so we make it to midnight shift and get in line to go up. And like you said, there was a lot of people in costume.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
A lot of drag queens, a lot of clear fetish wear. A few people in costume, simple costume.
There was a few people in cosplay costumes. Yeah.
We saw a cowboy, and say cowboy, he had a button-up shirt, jeans, and a holster.
Right.
I don't even think he had a hat. It was a poor
I don't
excuse
remember
for,
a hat, no.
It was a poor excuse for a cowboy. Us Americans need to show them what a cowboy looks like. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
There was a Deadpool.
There was a Deadpool.
That was fantastic. I don't know if Deadpool guy, I don't think he would listen to us, but if you ever do, you were awesome.
Yeah, and if you do, Mrs. Adam was really keen to take you home. You made eyes at her a couple of times. Every time he passed, and I was like, any minute now, you're going to say something to him. And I was very surprised that you never said anything to him.
No.
Was it because he was with two other women?
No, I just didn't think that we were going to take anyone home that night.
Well, you can still be nice and chat people up.
Yeah. But he was always in passing as well, so...
Yeah, but y'all were making eyes at each other. It was cute. Plus, he was Deadpool.
Yeah.
So...
He was cute.
Yeah, he was cute.
There were probably 4 or 5 Harley Quinns, easy.
No, there were 7.
Okay,
because remember, they all got up on stage. We'll get to that point.
I don't remember all of them getting... I think they couldn't find 1 or 2 of them at that point, though.
There were still 7 on stage.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was all different people from the Marvel Universe, and it was really kind of varied, the different costumes that people had. And like you said, some clear fetish wear.
I just love that you said Marvel Universe, because you're right. I didn't see anybody from the DC Universe. I love you. Sorry. Continue.
And there were a few people in like schoolgirl uniforms.
I guess Wonder Woman is from the DC Universe. I'm sorry. Please continue. And Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like I should edit this out now that I'm thinking about this. But anyway, there was a lot of Marvel characters.
Yeah, there were.
You know what? Don't judge me. Please continue.
No, I was just trying to think of some of the other ones that we saw, but there were I don't remember specifics, but
Yeah,
it was
Mario and
really-
Luigi. We saw Mario and
Okay,
Luigi.
that's right,
So
'cause they were dancing when we first came in.
To back up a bit and let me get actually on focus rather than thinking about Marvel's versus DC Universe. Marvel is better. You get to the top of the stairs, which is a long staircase up. We pay our fee to get in, and then we were some of the first ones in there. Even though we were in a long line, there was still, I'd say the club was at, 10-15% capacity at that point. It was still
there was
pretty
still
empty for the
fair
club.
bit of room.
So we did a quick pass around just to see what was there. We really didn't know what time anything was. I will say, very shortly after we walked in, there was that big guy that said hi to us and said basically welcome. And I didn't realize who he was until later on. He was the announcer guy. I think he's probably one of the facilitators of Hellfire, because I saw him sort of going around frantically at times trying to get shit done. But we walked in and there was a circle of puppies.
Yes.
They were in their full puppy regalia, and they were awesome and adorable, and I really wanted to play with them, but I didn't feel like I could because I was in latex and they were puppies, and I don't know how they would handle
Puppies
it.
need love too.
I know, but I just didn't think they would include me. I wanted to be included,
Like,
but I
I
didn't
want to
think
be
they
a
would.
puppy. Can I be a puppy?
I know, I
with
really
you?
did, but anyway. But they were cute.
They were cute. Yeah.
And some of them were really cute. Like, can we take a couple of those home and adopt them? I promise to take really good care of them and scratch their bellies whenever I can. Anyway, so then we walked along, and I think we got drinks. Vastly overpriced drinks, but it's Australia, so that's cool. And we walked past Mario and Luigi, who were dancing.
Because there were only maybe 6 people on the dance floor at that point. It was pretty sparse.
That's still, I think it's such an awesome. And if you go to the Hellfire page on Facebook, Mario and Luigi, I'm pretty sure had their pictures taken. I think they're currently on their current banner, which I think is awesome. But by the time this gets released, that one will probably have changed. Anyway, so we walked around and I think we just made sort of that initial pass to test the
layout,
water.
see what was where, who, whatever was going on.
Interesting setup. 2 big rooms connected by one little room and then a doorway. The one big room has a huge stage on it. A pretty big stage for a club of its size, and a nice sized dance floor with these odd blocks in the middle that you can stand up on, which I think is, again, sort of, it harkens back to that sort of go-go dancer age, which I really like. If you want to be up on
stage,
it's up on a little stage. You're on a meter and a half by meter and a half square kind of stage, and it's maybe, I don't know, 3/4 of a meter off the floor, so you're just above. And then I think there was another step up as well. It was really interesting. It reminded me a bit of Cubert,
right? Yeah,
that kind of those blocks. And as the night filled up, those platforms filled up, but it really made it easy to see people, and it was I liked that. I thought that was a neat touch. And then 2 big, nice sized bars.
And the bar in the other room away from the dance floor had some couches and seats near it, just to the side of it. So
lots of seating in that room.
Yeah, so there was a fair bit of seating, and it was a little bit away from the music. So if you wanted to, have a little more of a conversation, you could go there and do that.
Yeah, it was. I liked the setup. I thought it was an interesting setup. And then I'm excited because in October, Jack and I are going to a party there.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it is, but apparently I'm going to be wearing budgie smugglers to the party because he told me that's what I was going to wear, which means I need to go out and buy some budgie smugglers. So.
Just wait for that picture on Twitter, folks.
Yep. Nope.
Oh no, it's going up.
So as the night progressed, I know I drank a little more than you did, because I kept going up and getting beers, because I don't like to have my hands empty when I'm at a club like that. But it started getting nice and we'll say, I won't say packed. It was probably about an 85% capacity. It was,
It got comfortably full for a while.
And you and I had picked a little area by a high top table that we could stand. And then there was another couple sitting there.
Yeah.
And we kept making passes around to try to see if there was anybody we knew or anybody to talk to. And just,
I liked that place, though, because for me, not only was there a table if we did want to put drinks and things down, but also the dance floor was, 2 steps down or so?
Yeah,
and
beneath
so,
us.
Right, and so it was just at that edge of the dance floor just above, so I could kind of see out over, because me being short, a lot of times I can't really see what's going on dance floors and people and stuff, and so it's nice to have that just a little bit above, so I can kind of get a good idea, because I really liked watching all the costumes and the puppies, and it was good.
Yeah, and that, we were also in a position to where if something started happening on the stage, we could take one step forward and we were right there, elevated above everybody, so that again you could see,
right.
And we had a clear, straight shot onto the stage, so we could see what was happening on the stage. Which is what happened. Was what was Wonder Woman's name?
Betty Bandit.
Betty Bandit. What a great name. Part of me hopes that was her given name, but I'm pretty sure it's probably a pseudonym. Yeah. Anyway, but she's sort of got this badass Betty Page sort of look to her, but then is a little different. I don't know. I like her. But she came out and did this really great strip, for lack of a better term, as Wonder Woman, and they had the Wonder Woman theme song. So I do remember that. That was kind of badass, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So we watched that, and that was midnight, maybe? Is that when that started?
I think it was around midnight, 12:30 maybe, something like that.
I think it was midnight, because I think 12:30 was Lucy.
When Lucy B came on, okay.
I feel like there was time in between, because I feel like we kept getting drinks in between the shows, and I remember 3 sort of distinct shows that we saw.
Okay.
But, so...
It all kind of ran together.
It did all kind of run together. Yeah. The music, I will say, I got to give props to whoever did the music. The music was awesome.
It was very well done.
There was, enough. It was all upbeat, exciting. I'm not going to say typical club music, but it was club music, but it was still at a level at which you could talk and have conversations, but it was still loud enough that you sort of forget that you're in reality.
It was loud, but it wasn't so loud that you had to scream at the top of your lungs to say anything. And it was also, like you said, while it was quote unquote typical club music, it wasn't just complete techno.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was. I don't know who does the music or who did it that night, but it was very well done.
It was really well done. I was afraid of that, because one of the things I hate about going to clubs is you leave and your ears ring for again, I'm old. All right, get off my fucking lawn. But I don't enjoy that.
Right.
Whereas,
and I don't like it being so loud that I can't talk to the person standing right next to me.
You don't want to leave hoarse either, or without a voice. And it wasn't that either. And the music was varied enough that it was interesting. And I remember thinking, oh my god, I actually know some of these songs, and I'm fucking pushing 40. So that's nice.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. So after the first show, we were standing at that table and we were talking to a nice couple, had a pretty good conversation with them. We should probably message them, because they live around here, and have drinks with them at least.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was that they were nice, friendly people, and about that time, I think some of the pups were getting hot and sweaty because they were starting to take their hoods off.
Right. Yeah.
Which I imagine those things are hot and sweaty.
That's gotta be. Yeah.
And about that time, I was thinking to myself, I could have used a lot of powder on my entire body. Yeah. But boy, did I look shiny.
You looked amazing.
I also want to...
You looked absolutely delicious.
I want to back up, too. One thing we didn't say, when we first got there, they have a coat check upstairs. So that was something that I was sort of like, what are we going to do with this? I don't want to have to carry this around with me.
Yeah.
Because you were wearing a jacket and you had your purse and whatnot. So we ended up walking upstairs and dropping everything off at the coat check. I think I had my bag, whatnot. So I think that was well done, well handled, to have a coat check there.
Well, in a place like that, you almost have to, because if you come in, with clothes over your fetish wear or something like,
Yeah.
especially there were some guys that were just walking around budgie smugglers in a harness.
That's true.
And so if it's going to be hard to walk up to the club in that, depending on where you're coming from and, public transport or not or whatever. And so, they almost have to have a coat check.
Right.
To drop your clothes and
No, I mean, it makes sense, but I was very glad the way they did it. I thought
Yeah.
it was handled very well and whatever. Props to the club.
And it was designed nicely because the coat check was upstairs separate from everything else.
Yeah. You were
it was purpose built kind of thing. Yeah.
So the next show that we saw was the one that I was really excited for, which was Lucy B coming out and doing her Harley Quinn strip, which, truth be told, I have a massive crush on her. She's that perfect woman. She's built perfectly. She's tiny. She's
tiny, yeah.
Yeah.
She made an awesome Harley Quinn.
She makes a badass Harley Quinn. She was popping balloons, which I think is just kind of awesome. Makes me think of Bob's Burgers, though. So she's popping balloons, and it was just, she's badass. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. Amazing. So, she did her strip, I think, to 3 songs, and one of the songs, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was, I think, one of the songs from Suicide Squad, but I can't remember which song it was. It may have been it may have been the main song, but it was a really well done. It was just a well done show.
Yeah. It was very entertaining. I think she did a good job of using the stage space as well.
I agree.
Because she didn't, just stay in one little area. She kind of moved about, and so it was.
She was clearly playing the audience, which it's nice to see. From somebody who's doing a burlesque style show. We've both seen shows where they stand in one place and they may twirl around a bit and that's it. But she was clearly having fun and kind of skipping across the stage.
And by nature of the character, it plays nicely to that.
It felt like she was embodying that character. And then somebody else came out, and I can't think of who she was dressed as, and I should know this, I just can't think of the character. But she came out and they were both dancing together a bit, and she would pick Harley up and spin her around. It was the whole thing was just so well done.
It was well orchestrated.
Yeah, it was well orchestrated. I was very excited by it, and I remember kind of bouncing on my heels, and I was just all into it. And I'm bouncing now because I'm excited still. But it was such a great experience. That was an awesome show. Sploosh. Just gonna stick with Sploosh.
Agreed.
So after that, again, there was another music dance break.
Yep. And somewhere along the way, I think it was before Lucy's, before her strip part, but we met up with a couple that hosted the glow party.
Yeah, random.
Yes, they somehow walked in. I don't know. She walked up close to us, and I'm not sure who recognized. I
recognized
first.
Both of them almost immediately
because I think they were behind me, and so I turned around, and it was like, oh hey,
hey,
So that was fun. We danced with them a bit and hung out a little bit there.
How random is that? I just love it. I love that kind of stuff.
Because it was only the next weekend or 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it was like 2 weekends later, and we bumped into them at some other random club.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, it's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it.
And they were looking good. They had on some nice fetish wear and masks, and their picture I saw was up on the Facebook page.
We need to go through and see if we're up there.
Yeah, I haven't.
I'll totally tag us.
I just saw them as we were passing through, so.
Yeah.
But that was fun. So we chatted with them and danced with them for a bit. And
it was good. It was good. So then the next thing that they did was there was a costume contest, and I believe initially it was probably for all of the people in cosplay, but then there were so many Harley Quinns, and because Lucy was as Harley Quinn, I think that they were like, all right, let's just get all the Harley Quinns up there, and there were 7. I know there was a couple people that didn't go up, but.
Yeah, because I remember the announcer guy was trying to get all of them up there, and he was like, I know, because he made the comment that there was at least 1 or 2 others. He's like, I know that you're out there. I saw you earlier tonight, and he was trying to get them up. So I don't know if they were in a different part of the club, if they had left by that point.
Yeah.
if
but
they were
I still think there was.
I don't know.
I think there was
there were
7
quite
up
a
there.
few.
There was a
Yeah.
number up there, and then they gave the prize away to a great Harley Quinn.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it was
fun.
It was a badass. Yeah, it was really well done. It makes me excited to go back.
For sure.
Which that's right, because it's actually this Friday.
It is this Friday.
So it will be a month in 2 days.
Right.
It'll have been a month that we went.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get to go back because we've already got date planned with
Jack on Friday.
Yeah, with the handsome
So
one.
we're putting it on the calendar for October to try and get there. See what's going on then.
See what the theme is. But so I mean, it was we ended up after the competition winner, we stuck around for maybe.
I would have said 30 to 45 more minutes.
Yeah, I think we ended up leaving for home at maybe 2.
I would say so.
Pushing 2.
Yeah.
But other comments I'd like to make: the bathrooms. Bathrooms are hilarious.
Let's hear about the boys' bathroom.
The boys' bathroom. Was this the one? I'm trying to think. This was the one where. I'm just trying to remember where we were. No. That was
Arc.
That was Arc, where there were couples in the bathroom. No, the boys' bathroom. That's right. This one wasn't bad because they had the 2 urinal troughs. Which, as a side note, folks, in the States, for our Australian listeners and for our American listeners to learn the difference between Australian men's rooms and American men's rooms. In the States, the only time you ever really have a trough that a bunch of guys stand up and pee in is in elementary school, maybe in middle school, and then some sporting arenas.
I was going to say, what about like the big, huge concert venues, like the big outdoor ones and stuff? No?
Well, in the big outdoor ones, you usually have porta potties.
Like the amphitheaters?
Oh, you mean like amphitheaters?
Yeah.
No, even then, oftentimes, it's a bunch of individual urinals. Okay. Everybody has their own urinal.
Okay.
You see that, I would say it's inverse in Australia. You mostly see the giant trough that everybody stands in most locations. And then in the States, it's mostly individual urinals.
Interesting.
And then the percentage of the times in the States that you see individual trough, one big trough, is the time in Australia that you see the individual urinals. So it's completely reversed. But this one was weird because, and maybe I'm just misremembering this, but I don't think I am. It was 2 troughs sort of back to back. So if I'm peeing at one, I could be looking at somebody standing right across from me.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure that's how it was. And maybe
I'd like to picture
look,
that.
I went twice or 3 times in the club, and maybe I'm just misremembering it.
Are you sure you weren't staring in a mirror at yourself?
No, I was definitely not staring at myself in the mirror.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Now I'm all confused. But anyway. There was a few times that, of course, the women's restroom has a line because, women take forever to pee. I don't know. But then, so there was a couple ladies that would come in to the men's room and they would just use them, not the urinals, the troughs, but I sort of wanted to see that in like a full Monty sort of way. You've seen full Monty, right? Yeah. So that's what I wanted to see. But anyway, they didn't.
So I actually found the women's restrooms.
Yes, because you got invited to the bathroom by somebody.
Right. So yeah, the couple that we were talking to fairly early on, after talking to him for maybe 30 minutes or so.
Was it even that long?
It may not have been.
I think she was just dying to go to the bathroom, and she's like, someone who will take me.
Yeah, and so she was like, I have to go to the bathroom, come with me, and grabs my arm and drags me to the bathroom with her.
Which I thought was odd.
And I was like, okay, sure, I don't really have to go, but I can try, while we're there. And because again, it was still early enough, probably I would say 11:30, that it wasn't super crowded. There wasn't really a line for the bathroom or anything yet. So yeah, we go in and the stalls were long. Like I would say the normal depth of a stall, like, at a general restaurant or airport or somewhere like that, it was probably twice as long.
Was it as long as the dinner table here?
If not 2.5 times as long. Well, you also have to remember you have a toilet, so I would say even a bit longer than our dinner table.
Yeah, wow.
They were pretty good size.
Our dinner table seats like
and at
8
first
people.
I was like, that's interesting. But then I realized, because this is why she needed help going to the restroom, was because of the fetish wear she was wearing. It zipped up the back, like all the way up high, and she couldn't get undone. She needed help to get out of her outfit to go pee. And it was like, and I mean, I'm sure there's other people doing other things in there. That's fine.
Yeah, there are.
But most people were going into the stalls. Occasionally there was a single, but most of the time it was in pairs. But a lot of people honestly needed help getting out of their clothes, and you would hear comments about, can you do this, can you, just trying to get unzipped and re-zipped and that kind of thing. And I guess it just comes with the nature of it. But again, I don't know when they built the place what the purpose was to make the stalls long like that, and to make them they weren't wider necessarily, they were just long. But it worked very nicely for that, because there were a lot of people that needed help getting in and out of their clothes so they could pee.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the bathrooms. We talk about bathrooms on this podcast. We could make this the potty podcast.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah,
We could do that as a side thing.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot.
But I will say, in the main club, though, something that we didn't touch on, we touched on the dance floor and whatnot.
Yeah.
There were a couple of, I'm going to say, fetish areas.
Oh yeah, we should have talked about that. Yeah,
there was an area where
it was Hellfire, the fetish club. So
right, and there was an area where there was some rope play going on. I think there was like a anchor or something from the ceiling.
Yeah, there was some suspension work.
Yeah, because there was at some point a guy was tying up a girl, and I think she was even suspended for a bit.
Yeah.
I admittedly only kind of watched here and there. I didn't actually go watch it. I at least just kind of saw it from a distance. But I'm pretty sure I saw her hanging at some point. But so they had that area. They had at least one St. Andrew's cross in the corner up at the dance floor.
Yep.
I don't remember if there was one in the other room or not. I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was another scaffolding something,
Yeah.
or maybe a cloth covered pommel horse kind of thing, a leather pommel horse. I don't know what that's called. Maybe it's a pommel horse, I guess. Yeah. And I think that was in the other room. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of stuff.
There wasn't.
It wasn't
a lot.
like Tryst.
No.
But it's not meant to be like
It's
Tryst.
a different type of venue.
Yeah. This is more
a
of
different experience.
Yeah, this is a completely different experience. This is more of that dance club sort of.
With an edge.
Yeah, dance club with an edge, exactly. Whereas Tryst is meant to be a fetish sort of BDSM kind of thing.
However, I will say that after watching people on the St. Andrew's Cross, because they did have some implements and whatnot there, I would either not touch them, or I would definitely sanitize afterwards, because there were people that were putting the implements in places that I just don't think were very clean.
Yeah, there was a bit of insertion that we saw, and
it's just like, no, I'm not touching that one.
Yeah. Which,
it's fair enough. I mean, it's gonna happen, and people. I mean, places
it's
like that.
It's probably okay. But
right.
I still would not. That's not a risk I would be willing to take.
No, I would definitely wash my hands and whatnot afterwards. But actually, I probably wouldn't even touch it. But I'd bring my own implement.
Yeah.
I'll just bring my own.
BYO.
Yeah, but I think it's just because of the type of venue, and also you get people that are there dancing and drinking and whatever. It just is. But there were definitely people using it. There's a lot of spanking going on as well.
Yeah.
I know I saw a couple of the schoolgirls spanking and whatnot at some point. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really good to see everybody dressed up and just kind of get out, have a good time. It, like you said, it has a very different vibe to Tryst. It's more of that dance club with an edge, a little bit of play here and there if you want kind of thing, but it's not serious. It's not as serious BDSM type of thing that's what you go for.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Per se.
But
I agree, definitely
though.
Fun.
It's definitely something I would go back and
sure.
would like to see it again.
Right. And we have some regular, for friends that go regularly, they happened to be sick that night and so didn't go.
Yeah,
so
they were going to go with us and then had to bail.
So I think it'd be fun to go back with them because they do know a lot of people as well. So I think it would be even a different experience still because we and also this is something we didn't touch on either, but we were kind of getting the feel of it and enjoying because they had all the Lucy B show and whatnot. We were just kind of enjoying watching all of that. But you had on your dog collar.
Yes.
And so between that and I think the beat of the music, you kind of went into your own little world and meditated for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And so, you were just kind of back there in your own little world, just absolutely, completely not paying attention, or didn't seem to be paying attention to what was going on.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And it seemed like it was really therapeutic. So I just kind of let you be for a while and just, did my own thing.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. I'm not good at,
Yeah.
I don't relax. I don't relax well at all. And I do remember that now, because there was a few times that I did sort of drift off into that sort of, like you said, perfect word choices, meditation. But between that beat of the music and having the collar on, which for me is when I put the collar on, I am subservient.
Yeah.
And so I remember there was many times I didn't speak to anyone, which for me to be quiet, anybody who listens to the podcast is like, WTF. But I was quiet. You were doing all the talking.
Yeah.
You were interacting with people. And then I only spoke when I was spoken to. I do remember that. That's right. Because I'm pretty sure that couple thought that I wasn't interested in them at all.
I kind of wondered how that was going to go when she and I went off to the bathroom, because I was like, is he going to talk to the guy?
I did talk to the guy, but only because he spoke to me.
Right.
He would ask questions, and then I would do the polite answer and then ask the same question.
Right.
So, again, now I look back on that going, they probably thought that I wasn't interested in them at all. And they were nice people.
Oh, yeah.
I just couldn't, I was in that headspace.
You were just in a different zone.
And but you're right, I did do that, and it was great.
Yeah.
And so for most of the night, I was clearly sub to you.
Right.
At least in my head, I was. Maybe, I don't know if the rest of the world saw that. We really should have brought the leash as well, because I think with the leash, it would have been clearer.
Yeah.
Why I was quiet.
And we contemplated, but admittedly, I wasn't sure if it would just be harder, one more thing to keep up with and whatnot, or not. But looking back on it, we should have, and I think next time for sure we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's right. I completely forgot about that, but you're right. That was so relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think I quite realized. I know early on I said something about, let's go walk around there. And that was kind of when I first realized that you were doing that. You were kind of going into yourself and into your own headspace, because you were just kind of like, and just follow along.
Yeah, I did.
So.
You said something that made me spark something. Oh, something else that we had talked to the folks at Max Black, and they told us to look for somebody.
Yeah.
The lady who takes the pictures is who, and I can't remember.
No. They said to look for a clown.
No, that was Black Label.
That was Black Label said to look for the clown, and we never saw the clown.
We never saw the
clown. They said to look for a sexy
clown, and we never saw a
sexy
clown. But apparently that was the person from Black Label there.
Right.
Which next time we'll try to meet up with them.
Yeah.
And then we also was the folks from Max Black said to look for. I can't think of her name now, but she was the photographer, and that lady was busy, and she took our pictures. She was. But we just kind of stuck our head in and was like, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah.
And introduced ourselves, and she was all like, "Oh, hi," and then click, 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 and then she moved on.
Yeah, she was crazy busy.
And then we started to leave, and we started out what I thought was the outway, but ended up being the green room for the people who were performing, because we walked right into Lucy B, which I then did the duh, you were great. That's basically what I did.
I think she must have been on her way to like the bathroom or a drink or something.
Yeah.
'Cause she was
bolting.
She was barreling
but she
through.
did stop, and she was very polite. She was like, "Oh, thank you," and then security was like, "That away, sir," and pointed the other way. And I was like, "Oh, sorry, this isn't the exit." And he goes, "No," like, right, because I'm an idiot. And so we ended up taking off, and that was getting down the long stairs and quickly catching a cab in our fetish wear, and that was easy as, bro.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was fun, and I'm glad that we finally were able to get there and experience Hellfire, because we've heard a lot about it from people, and people that went when they were in college. We've heard about it from our friends that go now, just all over the place, and we hadn't been able to do it, and so I'm glad we finally did.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
And we'll definitely go back.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we'll try for October, see if we can get it on the calendar. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
If not, we'll do it sometime over the summer.
All right, that's pretty much Hellfire in a nutshell. Do you want to do which question do you want to do? We have a couple of questions.
That's up to you.
Let's do your question.
Okay. All right.
So in honor of it being Bisexuality Awareness Week, and then this Friday being Bisexual Awareness Day, Friday the 23rd. That's right? Yes, the 23rd will be when that is. So we've got a question. Mrs. Adam has a question.
So this was one that someone asked really quite a while ago now, but we haven't addressed it. So
Sorry.
we'll bring it up here. Are you comfortable being bisexual, or do you wish that you were A, heterosexual monogamous, B, homosexual monogamous, and do you think that life would be easier in any one of those ways, and if so, how? So it's a multifaceted question.
Wow, that is a multifaceted question. Do you want me to answer first, or do you want to answer
Yes,
first?
you can answer first.
Oh, you can answer first. So that's a hard question. So if I am to be completely honest, I do wish that I was either heterosexual, 100% heterosexual, or 100% homosexual, because I do think life would be easier. With that said, life is never easy for anyone. It's easier, but it's never easy. But I do think that part of me, because I do really enjoy women and men, I think though there's a lot of things that people assume when you're bi, that you don't get those assumptions when you're either straight or gay. For instance, you never get questions like, or you never get statements like, you're just being greedy. Straight people are never greedy, which I think is dumb, because I know people who are 100% straight who sleep around a lot more than either one of us put together, and no one ever asks them if they're greedy. And then, things like, oh, well, when I first came out as bi, you would get people say, oh, you're just transitioning, you'll be gay, you'll become gay. Like, wait, you know how this works, right? And it often goes back to me when I was first seeing a psychologist about this. She asked me, if there was a naked man and a naked woman in front of you, both of them your, air quotes, ideal, which would you be more apt to go for? And I know she was trying to do a quick Kinsey test on me. And I looked at her and I said, well, why can't I have both? And even that, it's just tough. So I like who I am. I like what I am. But I do think that it would be easier if I could be heterosexual monogamous or homosexual monogamous. Although I will forever be bisexual, non-monogamous. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
That seems like a long, ranty answer. So how about you?
So I would answer it, first of all, that yes, I am completely comfortable being bisexual. And I see what you're saying as far as it would be easier if you were completely homosexual or completely heterosexual. But I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because while there's a lot of, I'm going to say, stigmatism and preconceptions that people have about bisexual people, they have the same things about homosexuals and even heterosexuals. And I mean, it may not be, definitely with heterosexuality, it's not going to be as negative. But there's still, people still have a stereotype that they're trying to fit you into. And I think maybe the problem is that with bisexuality, they don't have a clear stereotype to fit you into.
True.
And that might be why people have a harder time with it and trying to understand it, because they don't know where to fit you in. So I think it, might be easier for people to categorize you otherwise, but I don't know that life would necessarily be easier per se.
I'll argue that again, because you look at the ladder of acceptance and understanding. You've got, heteronormative at the top, because you look at all your main media heroes, and you've got, many of them are straight.
Right.
And monogamous. And then you have the now, just in the last really 10, 15 years, have we started to get, gay and lesbian heroes, people that young people can look up to and then sort of try to emulate. And then you have the bisexual people who, again, most of those heteronormative or homonormative people just don't they don't understand, so they don't know how to. I don't know. There's not a lot of that in media, so you're not getting, heroes for youth, and especially for boys. I do think it's different for men than women.
I would agree with that, and I would say that it's probably a lot harder for men.
And I think about the young boys out there now, the 14 to 18-year-olds who don't really know what they want even, or I don't know, and it's unfortunate that they're not even. They see, you've got your straight heroes and your gay heroes, and there's not a lot of fluid male heroes.
There's not an in between.
Yeah.
And the other part to that, though, that I would address is the monogamous side of it, because I don't necessarily think that life would be easier if I was monogamous. In fact, I almost think it would be harder, because there are those, there's those desires, and there's, I want to be with other people. And if I was monogamous, I couldn't do that without cheating. And people see that as being a negative thing. That definitely has a negative stigma to it. Mm-hmm. And, if I just go ahead and admit and accept that I'm not monogamous, that's not who I am, that's not the type of relationship that I want, then while people still have a hard time sometimes wrapping their head around it, they're a little more accepting of it than saying, oh, well, you're cheating on your partner, that's bad, you must be a bad person. And
do you think so? Do you think that people accept non-monogamy more than they accept cheating now? Because I think it's the other way around. I think people are more accepting of cheaters than they are people who are in ethically non-monogamous relationships.
Even blatant cheaters?
What's the difference between the two?
Like someone who blatantly cheats on their partner and everyone knows it, versus somebody who tries to cover it up and hide it, but yet still everybody kind of knows it.
I don't think that matters, honestly. I still think that cheating on your spouse is more socially accepted, not acceptable.
Probably worldwide.
Accepted.
Probably worldwide.
And I'm only looking at U.S. and Australia here. If we just take the, us, as Austro-Americans, I think that the culture says it's okay, or it's more accepted, not acceptable again, but it's more accepted to cheat on your spouse than it is to be ethically non-monogamous. Yeah, that's just what I think.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. I don't think I am. I thought I was once. I was mistaken. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
But the long and short of it is that
it's funny because for me, growing up, and I say growing up until I was probably 30, 20, last week, all I wanted was to be normal. And I think that's where questions like that really hit me, is because I know I'm not normal. And I know I always say normal is only an average, but questions like that always bug me because it just reminds me how not normal I am, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I still want to be normal. Even though I'm accepted by my circle, mm-hmm. I'm always looking for that greater acceptance. And I know that I will never be normal. And that still, it's easier to say now, but even when I say it still really bugs me.
Even though when you had a quote-unquote more normal lifestyle,
I was miserable.
Weren't happy with it.
Yeah, I was miserable, but I knew that the world around me thought I was okay.
Right.
Yeah, I know that's a deep-seated issue, but
And I still think it's better to be not normal, be happy in your world, and build a world that accepts you for that. It might be hard, and it might be a tiny little world. It may not be a big world that accepts you, but...
Well, I'm not saying I'm going back to the other way.
Oh, I know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying there's always that little guy inside of me that whenever you go out into the world outside of our apartment,
right.
He says, you're not normal. Mm-hmm. And I think we all want to be accepted, and I think part of being accepted is considering ourselves normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Deep thoughts.
On that. Yeah.
So that's my answer. Is that your answer as well? Well, I mean, not my answer is your answer, but your answer. Do you have anything you want to add, is what I'm trying to say?
I think you've covered the bases.
I think I covered a lot of things. I haven't drank nearly enough to be this confused. Yeah, so, all right, I guess we'll wrap it up then.
Yeah.
So, as always, you can find us at the Twitterverse, on the Twitterverse, at the Atoms of Love. You can email us your questions, comments, and rude remarks. Email us at theatomsoflove@gmail.com. Find us on the website, www.bythebi.com.au. Always want to go, hey, you. I think I'm hilarious. Is that it? We're on Facebook. You know where that is. I don't
know. If you search for By the By Podcast, it comes up.
We don't even know.
It's all one word. I think that's how you have to do it.
Facebook is still our joke. We have 2 people who like our webpage, or our Facebook page. And we love you both. Thank you, both of you.
Facebook's just a lot harder because we can't really post a lot of the pictures and things on there. So that's why we stick with Twitter,
and we're lazy.
for the most part. So,
that's it. That's the other more truthful thing. Go out and review us, please. We're thinking about doing a campaign here coming up soon where we give away a prize to one of our reviewers. We're sort of dipping our toe in that, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe the next podcast will announce that. So go give us a review, give us a like, find us where podcasts are sold, and I think that's it. Yeah. Say goodbye,
All right.
Say goodbye there, gorgeous.
Thanks for listening to us here on By the By.
All right. Bye.